Hey everybody, today's show is going to be very strange. Kind of on the spur of the moment, we decided we were going to get piercings today, and because we've been recording the show on TikTok Live, we thought, no problem, let's go and film that. What we didn't think about is the fact that we would be at many times during the piercing process in two separate rooms, and so for the sake of the podcast listeners, we were both trying to fill air to make sure that it was not totally silent while we got piercings, and so we were talking over one another as we were separated in two different spaces. And so, from an auditory perspective, it is just a nightmare at the beginning, about the first half. If that is driving you crazy, by all means, skip about halfway through the show to where we're walking the streets of the city, and you will get a nice kind of walking tour. It will still be worth hearing. If you can stomach the first part, it might be very funny to hear us talking over each other as we all got piercings today, but I can imagine it would be a mess. Also, there's a pretty horrific echo in the first half because we didn't understand that we both needed to turn off our mics in such a way as to mute the other. And so that means you're picking up what my mic was picking up of Crystal's voice plus what her mic was picking up. And so it made the sound not queued up right. It's kind of an abomination of a show for the first half. It gets better in the second half. So if it's a mess and it's going to give you a headache, by all means, this one might not be for you. But if you want to power through it, if you get to the second half, we figured that out. A very kind person pointed it out in the comments that it was picking up both of us. And I wish somebody had mentioned that early in the live episode. And so the second half is much, much better, and you get kind of our walk and talk as we wander around here in Barcelona. So, be forewarned. And forewarned is forearmed. You can skip halfway through, and we will not have this problem in the future. But yeah, I want the show to exist despite the auditory problems as a record. We tried, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you're about to see something pretty funny where we all get piercings on video. Podcast listeners, it's going to be a mess. That's just, it's going to be a mess. We're learning. Welcome, everybody. So, welcome to Writers Not Writing. Today's going to be an unusual show because we decided kind of spur of the moment. Well, Chris decided.
I did. I had an impulsive thought.
She decided to get her ear pierced, and so she talked me into getting my eyebrows pierced again, because that way it justified her getting her piercings.
Yep.
So I'm going first, because that makes sense somehow. So here we go. We are at Conspiracy BCN in Barcelona, which is the perfect location for a show that's going to be on YouTube. Conspiracy.
So Ben is going to get his eyebrows done first, and then Frankie,
Carolina, ¿quieres estar?
my
is going to
kid,
pierce my eyebrows.
may or may not get their tongue pierced. We'll see.
So I
They're a
had
little
my
nervous
eyebrows
about
done
that.
once upon a time, and they were right here. And the first time they did them, they were crooked. So we'll see how this goes. But the hope is that I can have my horns again.
This is going to be a bit of a different episode for Writers Not Writing. I'm going to try to fill in some sound here for our podcast listeners while Ben is busy getting his eyebrows pierced.
You have to narrate what's going on. This is a podcast.
So today's episode, we once again don't have a guest because we're still kind of figuring out the new format for it. So today's episode is going to be a little bit different. So not only do you get to start off by watching us get pierced,
ahora en TikTok, sí.
Who really does that on a podcast? But then
I'm dyeing my beard.
We're gonna host the podcast live as we walk the streets of Barcelona near our neighborhood. We are in the El Gotica neighborhood.
Yeah, we're in the Gotic, our neighborhood.
The Gothic neighborhood of Barcelona.
This place is like right near where we live.
This episode is kind of going to be. We're gonna talk about what we enjoy about our area, what we enjoy about living in Spain, how it's different from what we experience living within the U.S. So if all of that sounds interesting to you, stick around. We've got, I don't know how long the piercing is going to take, but I will try to kind of talk you through this while Ben's getting it done. I also have a horrific fear of needles, so it's really difficult because I can see Ben on my split screen. I'm trying not to look at the needle. So yes, I have multiple piercings, multiple tattoos, but I have a pretty severe fear of needles. So I'm usually okay as long as I'm not looking at the needle itself. I do understand the utter absurdity of that, but I had a very bad experience donating blood in high school since then I'm just not so, unfortunately, podcast listeners and live viewers, you kind of get to listen to me while Ben is getting this done, and then I'm not quite as talented at filling air without prompts when I have to as Ben is. I'm really good at filling air when I don't have to, and then I can just talk about, ramble about anything, any weird, interesting facts.
Trying to do this evenly is very difficult because faces aren't exactly even. So she's lining it up.
Especially if you sleep on your side.
Challenge.
I am getting this industrial ear here done, and I sleep on my right side. So
not anymore.
Not anymore. It's going to be interesting. But I did get the daith piercing done on my right side as well.
But this one's a lot.
But this one took probably took a solid 6 months to heal.
Okay, so there, I don't know if you can see these dots. There's one
But
dot.
I've had migraines,
And there's the
I
other.
don't have headaches
Do they
anymore,
look
so
even?
that was really nice. I can't say
hard
that'll
to
work
tell,
for everybody,
because
but it did work for me.
I think so. Look in the.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know that I'll be able to tell any better.
yes. I apologize to our podcast listeners. This is going to be a very interesting episode. I promise in the next week or two we're going to get back to our regular format and we'll actually have a guest on the show. At least that is the
I
plan.
think, tell me if I'm wrong, I think this one's further out relative to my eye than that one. I think that one needs to be further out.
We're having some debate about distance and if the piercings are even.
This one needs to be
No,
two
no,
millimeters
no.
over.
I'm trying to.
Oh, sorry, I didn't on.
All I can see is the bottom
Better
of
get it
Ben's
marked
face.
correctly. Mark twice, cut once.
We're trying to get the piercing in the right spot.
Un poco más adelante porque si ves al lado de mi ojo.
Yeah, it's
ese
gonna
es un
be.
poco más adentro de mi ojo.
We'll see how this goes.
And now it's going to be too much, and I'm going to grab it and I'm going to be mad at myself.
So, so for our podcast viewers or for our live viewers, if there's anything you want to know about life in Spain, feel free to put it down in the comments to ask us, and we'll answer as many questions as we can.
Okay, now, are they even
our
relative to
decision
my
to
eyes?
move
That one?
was definitely,
Yes. See that one?
I wouldn't say spur of the moment, but it did hinge on the election. And
Yes,
so we
that
kind of made
looks
the
right.
decision to move
Yes.
on November 6th.
Yep. Creo que está bien.
We had kind of a short list of countries that we were going to be looking into. Some kind of idea. So we really wanted to plan everything, pack up everything,
Oh, sí, puedo estar, sí.
and
Y es
move.
más fácil para usted si es para usted. Yeah, okay. Puedo hacerlo. I'm just going to be laid down because that way I won't move as much. I can just hold the phone up. And my head will be still.
November 6th. And then, we made the plan that if we were moving, we were flying out. We were going to be out of the country before Inauguration Day, which ended up being a good thing.
This will be interesting.
We might have had some passport issues getting out of the country if we hadn't left when we did, so. I'm trying to fill the dead air here, and it's not my
But you're also,
talent.
it looks like you're trying not to watch what's about to happen.
I'm also trying really, do you know how hard it is to look at your camera, but also try not to watch?
I think you're just going to have to watch.
I can't take my glasses off.
You're going to have to narrate.
Because I'm nearsighted, and so if I take my glasses off, I can actually see it.
I think you're going to have to narrate what's happening.
So Ben is currently you know, having needles poked through. People can see what's happening. You can narrate what's happening. I don't want to watch close enough to narrate it.
She's got my eyebrow. She's got the needle. She's aiming it towards my eye. This is horrifying.
And I am closing my eyes. Somebody has to be talking,
And
Ben.
she's through. There you go. There is now a needle through my face.
I don't like any part of this.
And then she's putting the other one in, which is actually larger and slightly more painful than the needle. And there we go.
But I can't actually see it because I'm wearing my glasses and I can't see well enough up close while I'm wearing my glasses. So that's okay.
Nut on the other side, which is just a round one for now. Eventually I will get some that are... okay, so let's see. Got one done.
All right, so
now
the
it's
first
time
eyebrow
for the
is done.
other
Okay,
side.
that I can see.
You can see it. Y el otro.
Oh boy, and here we
The
go.
other one.
All right, it is.
And I'm a little weird in this way. I always need to watch because the idea of somebody poking me without me knowing is startling.
And
So
I
it's
do
better
not
if I
like
see
to
it.
watch.
So doing it with live video is not all bad, actually.
Well, and now you'll have a recording of
I
it.
know I'll be able to go, oh yeah, that was when that happened. I did that thing.
You can send it to your ex-girlfriend who didn't like your previous eyebrow
Send it,
piercings.
yeah, I can send it to my mother who would be horrified.
I generally tend to encourage any kind of absurdity
No,
when it comes to
I now
Ben.
have a needle in my face.
I don't like being able to see that. That's for podcast listeners. He has the next needle through the other eyebrow. I do not. It is not fun for me to see. Ben is not helping with the narration at
Sorry, I'm
all,
not talking because it's
which is okay. I'm going to fill in with some fun facts or less fun facts. I have discovered my new favorite conspiracy theory. I saw it on I'm not sure if it was a TikTok or a Reddit post or what it was.
Eso es todo. Facilito.
But my new
That was
favorite
it.
conspiracy theory is that all rocks
Right, a
are
little bit
soft
more.
until you touch them. Which is my new favorite because you can't disprove
And that was it. Facilito.
You can't, which is my new, I love it.
Put my glasses
That's my
on.
new favorite.
Obscured anyway, so it's kind of almost subtle. So you'll see once I've got my glasses on.
His camera is just all over the place.
Sorry, I'm picking things up. Here's like this.
My glasses, my glasses.
I can't see, I'm
See without
blind.
his glasses. Okay, I two different movie quotes all rolled into one right there.
See, with the glasses on, you can barely see them, right? And then you kind of go, oh wait, he has his eyebrows.
Oh, there they
Which
are.
is a nice,
I can see them.
little touch.
I think you need some shiny hot pink like gemstones on that.
I don't know. Can people see tears just rolling down my face?
Oh no, is it painful?
It's a little bit. It's a little pinch, but it's fine.
A little bit.
¿Cuál es el procedimiento que sigue?
Yeah. Con la lengua. Yeah.
¿La lengua?
Sí.
So she's now our kid, Frankie.
El centro de la
Their
lengua.
tongue
Sí.
pierced next.
Solo.
All right. You gonna do this?
Do you want to be the one filming, or should I?
What?
Do you sit out here and narrate, and I'll go in and watch it and film?
Do you want it filmed on live? Okay.
It's this is
Go
fun.
for it.
This is fun video to see. Okay, I'll flip the camera around and film Frankie getting their tongue pierced. This will be fun, and it'll be a record forever too. So we are in a shop I mentioned called Conspiracy. So it's fitting that Crystal told you her newest conspiracy theory. I'm highly skeptical of conspiracy theories. It's important for people to always be reminded that conspiracy theories tend to lead to other conspiracy theories. And if you go far enough down that rabbit hole, they get to very, very grim places. So a
And
very
they are all
superficial conspiracy
essentially
theory,
rooted
just
in
fun.
anti-Semitism.
But yes, you get to the place of anti-Semitism always, because somebody then becomes to blame for the fact that you don't know it, and then we go to the groups we blame.
Okay,
And
but
so
I
that's where they
don't-
get to dangerous places. Like, oh, the world is flat. Oh, well, why are the pilots not telling us the truth about
Okay,
that?
but
Oh, the pilots are
I
all
don't think
people of color or whatever. These conspiracy theories are really gross.
I don't think you can circle rocks are soft until you touch them to
I'm sure somebody out there
anti-Semitism.
can.
I'm not sure.
If there's any
I'm
way
not
for
sure.
people to figure out bizarre ways to blame people who are Jewish for things, they will.
There's a bit of a lag on yours.
I should turn my sound on.
Watch my head.
Oh yeah. There is an interesting delay, and I'm turning off my sound so you don't get an echo. Sorry if you've been getting an echo there. So those of you just joining, I just got my eyebrows pierced seconds ago. And if you actually want to watch that happen, it will be on video this week on the Writers Not Writing Show. And Frankie, our kid, is right now, Listerining to prepare for going in and getting their tongue pierced. So I'll film that so you'll get to see it. And then Crystal is going to get an industrial. Is that just what it's called, an industrial ear piercing? It's like the bar that goes right here.
I would. So I had my tongue pierced when I was younger. I got it done when I was 18, and I at 19 found out I was pregnant. I went through this whole I can't be a mom and have my tongue pierced. I think I freaked out.
Which we can all acknowledge is silly.
There were a lot of factors going on at the time. There was a lot. And so I impulsively took it out, and then by the time I realized that was an idiotic thought and I wanted it back, it was too late to put it back in. And so I've always just been kind of a chicken to go in and get it done again, because I've heard the second time scarring from the first one can be really difficult.
So if I mute you on mine, can people who are watching mine still hear you? It just doesn't pick up the mic?
So.
Oh, okay. I don't want you to be muted in that way then. Folks who are in there, can you comment? Can you still hear her when I mute her? You need to be able to hear her. And I'm about to miss Frankie and their tongue.
And I would get my tongue pierced again because I did enjoy it. I feel like having it done. But I'm about to start a new job tomorrow, teaching English as a second language to students in Spain, and your tongue swells up and it's difficult to talk.
This is our kid Frankie, and she's about to get her tongue pierced. This will be funny.
Funny?
It'll be entertaining. It's good content.
Give the people what they want.
At least I'm not a baby.
What's the gladiator quote?
Are you not entertained?
There we go. Entertain us.
This, yeah.
Is
Different
this
movie.
Sparta?
Oh, that's a great one.
So make some saliva.
Vale.
Is
Carolina, who's
I like
doing the piercing. Take it easy. She's literally drying her tongue so that she can pull on it. Tell her to relax it as much as possible without pulling it back. And she's going to mark it so that she can see where she's going to do it on both sides. It's a good example of this kind of, medical professionalism, it's just a body to kind of mesh. It's just like, whatever, I know what I'm doing. To us, it's wild. I don't want to have dead air here, but there's, she is currently just identifying the part of the tongue that she's going to pierce. Now Frankie is checking to make sure. It's just kind of a hilarious pose.
But also, let's talk about Frankie's hair, because they dyed their hair, and so they noticed the ends were really dried out. And so last night they cut their own hair into this adorable little pixie cut, and I love it.
And so that was what got this whole thing going. Was Frankie cut their hair, then decided, oh, now my ears are visible, I need to get a new ear piercing. Then we came in, and then they decided to get their tongue pierced. But in the meantime, the conversation about the ear piercing got Crystal deciding she wanted to get.
Actually, it started because one of their barbell up here kind of tarnished, and the gold came off, and they were going to come to a tattoo parlor to get a replacement ball. And then I turned to Ben, and I was like, "Hey Ben, you should get your eyebrows." Just full excuse for me to get another piercing.
The needle is plastic. That's really interesting and hollow. And then she puts the bar through the plastic and then just removes the plastic that's around this
I've
bar.
had this done before, so I know what they are feeling.
So she's kind of threading it through the plastic, like basically through a straw, and then pulls that off, and the bar is already now in.
Almost
And then
done.
puts the ball on the end of the bar. The whole thing is very fast.
Almost
It's
done.
not to say that it isn't painful, but Frankie weathered it very well. And it's caught on the. There we go. Eso es todo.
Anna, you're done.
¿Quieres enseñarlo a todos? There we
Okay.
go. Done. And that was without anesthetic.
What
¿Tienes,
are you? What's your
¿Tienes un
camera
qué?
in their bed?
yes, now she's got a lisp. She will sound very, very Spanish. I should flip my camera around. So.
They're going to go back and they start back at school on the 3rd, and so they're going to go back into their class and just be like, sorry,
Yes.
I can't talk.
So yeah, their Spanish lisp. Oh, people are giving it hearts too. Yeah. So you just watch the tongue get beard. You know, give some hearts. So that's now 2 of us.
Okay, we can go now.
Tongue, and now Crystal pressured us into doing this. Is going. Okay, that's enough. Nope, it's her turn. So I will flip the camera around and film that as well. Or do you want to film that?
I mean, I have to. Well, it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yeah. You good?
It hurts more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the adrenaline. You'll have the adrenaline spike. And
So now it's going to be Crystal's turn, and Frankie's going to recover here on the couch. She's going to recover here on the couch. But the job is done. The job's done.
the adrenaline.
I told
the
Frankie,
adrenaline comes down
being a
and.
good parent, we'll get ice cream on the way. Because that's what you
Yes. Oh,
do. You get ice cream.
Should get ice cream on the way home. Oh, I'm gonna leave you with my glasses, my Starbucks.
You can see Crystal is now combing her hair in such a way that her ear is visible. And so she's like, oh, if I'm not covering it, I would like to get this. Although, do show everybody your earrings. They're pretty cool. These are new. She's got both those are new. Both that and the barbed wire spike.
Because it is almost September, which means it's almost October, which means it's almost Halloween.
So we're going to be interviewing Chelsea Kane, Part 6, and so those are the perfect earrings to wear for that episode. Chelsea will appreciate those.
I found a store in Barcelona called Flying Tiger that had a bunch of Halloween stuff.
Yes, which she keeps calling Flying Monkey, which makes me think of Monkey Fly on My Butt, which is not Flying Tiger.
That makes me think of Wizard of Oz.
Me too.
Makes me think of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. I think was it what was the Monkeys Will Fly on My Butt?
Who?
Monkeys Will Fly on My Butt.
I have no idea.
Somebody who's watching is just screaming at their phone. It's either
You're gonna have to translate.
yeah, sí, yo puedo
No
traducir.
habla español.
Yo puedo
Lo
traducir.
siento.
So I'm here to translate as she gets her ears pierced.
Here, you should hold that too.
Debemos asegurar que no se nos con sus lentes. So grab your glasses, porque tenemos que escoger un lugar en que no toca.
Está bien.
So we're going to have her mark it with your glasses.
Yeah, but I can just wear my contacts.
It's no problem. So she's going to make sure she marks it while you're with the glasses on. And then we'll take it.
Con gafas o sin gafas por la... No sé.
What?
Por la... Marca, ¿no?
Sí, ella puede marcarlo con los lentes. Yeah, so she's going to mark it with the glasses on.
¿En esta oreja?
Sí, como un ángulo, pero... Yeah.
I figured it out. Wayne's World.
It was Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. I was like, that's not Simpsons, Wayne's World. Monkeys will fly on my butt. Whenever they didn't believe something, that was their expression for, I don't believe you, yeah, whatever, and monkeys are going to fly on my butt. And so whenever Crystal mentions Flying Tiger Copenhagen, which has nothing to do with monkeys, and calls it Flying Monkeys, I think of it. Because I'm an old man. I think of Wayne's World.
I think it was Oz.
You think of Wizard of Oz, which is much older.
Much older. And Ben is gonna have to pull silence because I have to keep my eyes closed now.
This is going to be entertaining. So, but I'm not filming your ears. You'll have to swing the camera around if you want it to actually see your ear. There we go. So she's going to get her that's the angle it's going to be. She's marking it, so she's getting it in the right place. And will not bother her glasses. So she's wearing her glasses just for the marking. I'll take her glasses and that will not be visible. Here we go.
¿Te parece bien? Mira.
Sí, parece bien.
¿Te
Va a
parece
estar
bien?
y no va a estar. No quiero que ella agarra y después no quiere ponerlo cuando tiene sus lentes.
Translate.
So, I just said, I wouldn't want you to get this and then never wish you didn't have them and never whenever you want to wear your glasses. So this will be wish you gafas whenever you want. ¿Qué son gafas? So this will be
Lentes.
pero se dice lentes también, ¿no? Pero se dice lentes también. Es más común. Nunca he oído ese término. Más more popular. So yeah, so the term gafas is not a term I've ever heard. I step out of the room. She just takes care of it. Look at that. She's half done already. So she's finished one hole already. Still didn't look like she enjoyed it. We're half done. And we're fully done. Look at that. She's all the way through. And similar to Frankie's, it's done with a plastic tube, which is just wild to me. It's the same tube. Yeah. And then she cuts off the other end of the plastic tube, so now it's just a plastic tube rather than the driver that she used to put it through. And then she puts the bar through the plastic tube. And you just remove the plastic tube, and it's done. Now the bar makes it a little wider, so there was some pain for Frankie too when that was going through. But now it's all the way through, and then she's just going to screw the nut on the other end, the ball. And done. That was fast. You didn't look like you enjoyed it. Folks, if you want to comfort her, give her some parts. Lots of parts. Parts are nice. Parts are free. Tap on your screen.
I think for all of us,
Yeah. Oh, by far. Like the pain for mine is almost entirely.
Okay.
She looks like she's not working.
Sorry, just wait a second.
Okay.
Step back. I got a. Don't stand up. I got a little. Muchas.
Muchísimas gracias.
Ustedes.
Now we have the most important part for Carolina. We need to pay her.
Yes.
Oh, dead air. I'm creating dead air again. I need to keep narrating annoyingly the entire time. But yeah, this is a really cool shop we found. So, this was very spur of the moment. I was not planning on getting my eyebrows pierced when I woke up this morning. And then Crystal decided that I had to do this.
Yeah, I got
so that
that
she could
too.
do it. And she clearly was successful in that. And then when we got here,
I do need to
the
get
deal
the money,
is
though,
cheaper if you get even numbers. And so we had to get 4. And I was getting 2, so
That was
we had to
unpleasant.
get 1 as well. So then Frankie was like, "Should I get my? I guess I'm gonna get my tongue pierced."
I did not like that. I've had several piercings done. That one might be the worst. That one might.
Yeah, so you do 2 piercings and I'll do a 20. Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, that one might be the worst. I think I 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Sometimes you make impulsive decisions
Muchísimas gracias.
and then you immediately regret them.
Oh, ¿qué debemos hacer
Not
para la
dislike.
limpieza, for the cleaning afterwards?
Wildly dislike. It's not fun.
Just soap and water twice a day.
Do not. Zero. No, like
instructions
spray
on
stuff.
cleaning. Soap and water twice a day. And what was the cleaning product you bought?
Aftercare instructions for it.
In that part,
So it was soap and water twice a day. And
One was
how long?
I think it was
Tres. Dos
Tres.
veces al día lavarlo.
Very good.
Wash it twice a week.
Y 3 veces al día desinfectarlo.
Oh, and then disinfect 3 times a day. She's going to give her the name of the specific disinfecting
Y es
product.
el mismo
That was unpleasant.
Yeah, and it's the same for all.
No ni sobre sino para cualquier tipo de golpe.
Pero ella no puede usar jabón porque es la lengua.
My nose done, my tongue done, both ears, 2 holes
Yes,
in
first
ears.
Como fumas,
They've
entonces
done,
tener
and I have
buena
a
higiene, hacerte enjuague, hacia la saliva.
which I just announced to everybody.
But
So
to ruin this lifestyle is the
we're
worst.
gonna forget
No
that.
sé cómo
Listerina?
I think that was
So Listerine 3
that was
times a day.
most painful.
But yeah, so we finished this. So now I'm going to be anxious about when I can get the replacements that are the ones that have the little spikes. So I'll,
You have to ask for both of us. I want the little arrow.
okay.
This all started because I walked by a
¿Cuánto
jewelry shop.
tiempo debemos esperar antes que podemos cambiar a otro?
Por lo menos
Saw
aquellas que ya estoy
the bar
So we wait a
that
month.
was a blue sparkly arrow.
industriales se tardan más en
And I
Es más
want
que-
that piercing.
porque es que son dos.
That's how this all started. I made an impulsive decision and dragged my entire baby
Okay, so
into it.
that industrial can take a long time. Might be 6 months
Pues
before
todavía
she.
con las comidas, intentando la comida
So
frita.
because the car is like 6 months before you can replace it.
That was the date. That was my date also. 6 months.
Yeah.
It's actually closer to 8 because I kept sleeping on it.
Yeah, whereas for mine it's a month. So in a month I'll be able to get my horns, mis cuernos.
I disliked that.
Muchísimas
severely.
gracias.
That was not fun.
Y disfrutar del resto del domingo.
¿Se dice cuernos, horns? ¿Se dice cuernos? Cuernos, yeah, like,
Cuerdo.
yeah, like cuernos. Like, like abeja. Yeah. Voy a tener mis cuernos de diablo.
We're gonna try to giant perspective.
Do you need help?
I don't know. I need help. Without,
Do you need help?
Okay, we are set.
I need help with a lot of
You'll get
things.
to see a little bit of our
That's too
neighborhood
broad
as
of
we
a
want.
question. Okay.
Stepping out of
All right.
conspiracy, Barcelona, BCN.
I'm gonna.
BCN is kind of like PDX, though there's a lot of stuff you'll see here in Barcelona
Joined
that
us
abbreviates it
at
to just BCN.
Conspiracy BCN,
which,
tattoo parlor, where I got the industrial. Frankie got their tongue pierced, and Ben got his eyebrows pierced. So thank you for joining us for that little adventure.
Should we stop?
That was
or should we
fun.
continue?
Well, I don't know how long we've been recording. My phone is still at 40. Oh, don't do that. 43. My phone is still at 40. Oh, don't do that. 43. Turn off the Wi-Fi now? Yeah, but I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi because it's better if you turn it off all at once than if it disconnects. Yeah. So, yeah. So, for all of you that are still with us, thank you for joining our little,
I disappeared for a moment and came back. There we go.
Nope, you're good. And so now, for those of us joining both live and listening on the podcast, this is where we're gonna walk you around the city, I think, and we're gonna talk to you about Frankie. Can I have my coffee? Actually, we're gonna find a pharmacy first. So that do we want to go up to La Rambla because we're not far? We go that way. We go to La
We're gonna go to La
Rambla. And there's
Rambla
the 2 big
and
ones.
get
So we've got to go get some disinfectant stuff for the new piercings. That was really painful.
Really?
Really
Mine was
painful.
based. I shouldn't say this. Mine was painless.
That was more
I mean,
painful.
I cried. NotAPipePublishing is excited to announce our huge summer sale. Everything on our online store is 25% off. Let's face it, it's hot. So read a great book in the shade, wear a new shirt to the barbecue, sport the merch, and save. Share this with all your bookish friends. bit.ly/NAP store. bit.ly/capital N, lowercase a, capital P, lowercase store. Attention authors, poets, and visual artists. From Palestine to the poles, the Congo to Ukraine, Sudan to El Salvador, from the streets of Los Angeles to the swamps of Alligator Alcatraz, the world is in danger. And too many people are watching in silence. Speak out while you still can. Volume 1 of the Antifa Lit Journal is available now, and NotAPipePublishing is excited to announce we are open for submissions for Volume 2. Authors, poets, and visual artists, if you want to take a stand and use your talents to reject fascism and advocate for a beautiful world of diverse voices, justice for all, and liberation from the rapacious billionaires and self-serving plutocrat politicians trying to deceive, divide, conquer, and consume our world, send us your best work to consider for inclusion in the next volume. Find submission guidelines at bit.ly.antifalit. That's bit.ly/ANTIFALIT. Put pen to paper and let everyone know you demand a better world.
That's where we got your poster. We went. Ben and I both start teaching jobs on Monday, and so we went to this cool little poster store and we picked up some posters for the classrooms. And I got Frankie a very cute little Nosferatu poster.
Well, and I am
That's
looking
where I got your
forward
poster
to
from.
putting up those posters
Right back
because
here.
some of them are the same ones I had in my classroom for 20 years. So it feels good to be putting up some of the
I think
same
if we go right out here, though,
the painting
that's literally
School
a
of
pharmacy
Athens
right
by... Oh, again, somebody out here is going, School of Athens, I know who that's by. It's not Michelangelo. Maybe it was Michelangelo? Who did the School of Athens?
I don't know, but we have to remember, make sure that we're not talking at the same
I know.
time.
It's
really easy to do when we're talking on our own phones.
Well, and we do it in real life time, too.
Yeah, but it's easier in real life to notice when the other person is actually talking. It's much harder. Yeah. Hey, in real life, I notice it. It doesn't mean that it affects my behavior.
We are interrupters, and that would bother some people a lot. It is. I recognize that is cultural. My background is.
Hold on. I'm going to interject here and say, it is also ableist.
Yes.
Because it is a significant and common trait amongst people with ADHD.
Oh.
That's why I do it.
But it is also, I have been criticized for it because men have a tendency to disproportionately to win. And so it's something I need to work on. I try and listen for whether or not somebody is also an interrupter before I do the interrupting first. Because it is not acceptable, I have been taught, to just go, oh, because I'm an interrupter, I'm going to just do this thing. And you're not an interrupter, and you take effect. It is my job in that circumstance to be a little more sensitive and recognize that it's not an interruption. But when Crystal and I talk, oh my gosh, I can't talk about one. And that's fine for me.
There are two way down there. The other one is up that way. Yeah. That one you just can't see. So yeah, let's
We're going to go to
way.
a different one. We've been walking down Las Rambla, heading south, and we're switching around and going north because we saw the green light of a pharmacy up ahead. So the green pharmacy signs in Oregon mean dispensary.
Oh no, I mean the needle
but
going
here,
in was bad enough,
throughout
and then the
Europe,
jewelry.
green arrows
But the
mean
really
green
painful was
crosses
when she was
mean
putting the ball in at the
So
end.
we're headed to a pharmacy.
That was bad.
You both really had a hard time with that portion. So it's this clear plastic tube, which I think would be the part that's the most painful. And that both of them, I mean, it was painful. Drives the metal through that.
It's putting a metal rod through an open wound.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. So that's where they both
basically
really
when you scratch yourself or you get a bruise, it's when you poke it afterwards that it hurts
poking
more.
after. Yeah, it makes sense.
And then when she went to put the ball on, it's gotta adjust a little bit. Just had a metal rod jammed through the open.
It's the twisting of the knife.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was not. That was not fun. I did not enjoy that.
But you're both fine now.
It hurts. It's throbbing. And I did have a moment where I thought I was going to pass out.
Yeah, she did get a little bit woozy there. I noticed.
Yeah, very, very hot. It got very, very warm all of a sudden.
Well, it's also a very warm, humid day.
Yeah, but this was
a reaction.
Yeah, but you know.
But you made it. You're walking. You're up on your feet.
The piercing is in, and you only ever have to do it once. So.
Unless you let it grow in.
This is a lot of cartilage too, and it had to go into two different.
And mine had to go through no cartilage.
Yeah.
Eyebrow fat.
Yeah. Yours was like, when she did my nose, it hurt a lot. which was weird. Frankie's didn't, but mine
Come to
did.
think of it, when I got my ear pierced when I was in college, it was for my lobe, which is also no cartilage. So I don't know.
No. It doesn't.
The nose there on the side isn't cartilage.
No, but it's more sensitive.
Yeah,
and it's how they. It felt like a piece of like floss going through my nose.
Yeah, but I think the one you just got
weird.
would be that's
one,
more. I mean, that's more damage. You're actually going through
that one is more painful than any of the other piercings that I've gotten, including my tongue.
Interesting.
Yeah, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
It still throbs.
Frankie was about to get theirs, and Crystal was like, "Oh, well, when I got my tongue pierced, it hurt less then," and then she kind of was like thinking about hurt less then, and I was like, "Childbirth." Which is not
it did not hurt less than
to
childbirth.
find out something hurts less than childbirth is not a comfort.
I kind of forgot I was recording, and I walked by a dog. So,
no, thank you. We have the erotic museum here. Apparently
there
it's
is
supposed to be
an
really fun.
erotic museum on La Rambla, which sounds like really like you presume it would be very dirty, but it is. A lot of it is like erotic artwork throughout history, which is pretty cool. I haven't been in yet, but I've talked to people about it. It's on my list. I do want to do it. We just sent Frankie.
We thought about maybe taking my son when he comes.
Do we need to join Frankie?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
No.
What? Okay, you're good. You know what we need? You're getting
He's
mouthwash
picking up
too?
our disinfectant.
Oh,
So
okay.
that when
They
we
have
are
the spray?
doing our treatment, we make sure to keep them clean. I
You're
had a
good?
friend
We'll
who
wait
got
outside
her
then?
eyebrow pierced.
Okay.
Boy, we gave her the hardest time about it because this was 20 years ago, and that was a new and wild thing. Now it's tattoos and piercings, very passe. But when she got it, she got an infection. And let me tell you, getting your eyebrow pierced infection, it's gross. And eventually she did have to remove it, which meant it was all for naught. So I'm going to be doing my best to keep this very clean. I really do not want an eyebrow piercing infection.
When I had my date done, I kept rolling over on it, and then it kept like crusting up, and it took like probably a solid 8 months to heal. It was so painful.
Which one?
The inner ear one, the date. It was so painful.
How many piercings do you have in total?
In total,
1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would
Do you
have
have
6.
the inner ear on that side? Or
No, just one side. So I have 5, but I've had 6 piercings done
You
in
have 6,
total.
only the industrial is technically 2. You have 7.
Well, no,
No, 5, 6. Yeah, 7.
but I don't have my tongue anymore.
No. You've got 2 on each ear,
Yeah.
plus the one inside.
Oh, are you counting 2 on each ear separately as 4?
Those are separate piercings.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, that's
Would have had 10 if I had not taken out my.
And I don't keep my earring in, so that would have grown in. So
So.
I only have the 2. And I don't think I would do my ear again. So I had my ear pierced, and I took I used to wear a very small hoop, and it turned out it was the same size as a baby's finger. And so my son would reach up and stick his finger in there and yank on it. And I went, this is not worth losing an ear to my son or being angry at my son about, who was an infant. And so I just stopped wearing it. And then, I thought, I'll take it out for a while, and then when he grows up, I won't. And it healed up pretty quick.
Are you heading back to the house?
So, yeah. Are we not heading back to that?
I thought we were gonna walk.
We're gonna walk.
I thought let's walk up to the fountain.
Oh, okay. So
And
I'm gonna
circle
pack
around
up the
that
moon
way.
and just show you a little bit of the city. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll see you at home.
Unless you want to join the podcast.
Wander around a little bit.
All right.
Hasta luego. Nos vemos. So we are
Love
gonna
you.
film live and annoy everyone as we wander through the streets, and I make sure there's no dead air
We
on our
are.
podcast.
We are those people.
We're those people.
I'm actually holding a. Ben can
I
show
should show you
you.
the
I'm
device, the
actually
ring
like
here.
I'm that person that's
see
using
that?
like a walking
There we
like
go.
mount thing for my phone. I've become that person.
I'm using my.
I don't love it. That's who I've become. So,
We're
okay.
podcasters.
Well, we are podcasters. Everybody's a podcaster these days.
Anybody can be. The bar for entry is very low.
That's valid.
and not bad. It's not at all a bad thing. Like, this is why a lot of incredibly talented people come into, can escape kind of class constructs because of things like sports, especially sports that are inexpensive to play, which is why football is one of the most famous sports in the world, because anybody can pick up a ball and kick it around their street, right? Whereas, if you are equally talented, but you're equally talented at high finance, the bar to entry prevents you in those things into maintaining the class structure, right? But one of the ones that always comes to mind for me too is like paint. You can get your hands on paint, and you are one of these incredibly talented people. You can end up changing your life with just that talent. Podcasting, very inexpensive to get into.
All I can think about right now is that my ear is throbbing. That's all I've got right now. Not
that anybody is becoming wealthy and breaking out of their life because of podcasting. I guess it's a terrible example.
I mean,
the first podcasters. So early on in the forum, and this happens in every new media. The people who started doing it early, managed to build huge followings because as it grew, the audience base grew faster than the supply, right? At the beginning. And then most people were like, oh, this is a thing? Then I'm going to jump in on it. I'm going to start making a podcast. And now there are more podcasts than there are listeners. And that's the way it goes.
My ear hurts really bad. Really bad. Yeah. It burns. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are now engaged in large part because of the podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
Because of the New Heights podcast.
It was because of the podcast. They would have gotten engaged anyway.
They may not have started dating without the podcast.
Oh, really?
Travis went on. Okay, so this is the thing.
Okay, before we should preface this.
I was going to preface this.
Okay, go ahead.
I know Ben does not care even a little bit about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I am not a Swiftie. I enjoy some of her songs. I'm not a super fan. What I do love is seeing their relationship and seeing a woman who, throughout her entire public life, has been asked to shrink herself,
compromise herself,
and still see criticism from all sides. She cannot win. It doesn't matter. She's dating too much. She's dating too little. She's wearing something too revealing. She looks like an old cat lady. Cannot win. And that's, a lot of women within the public eye. But then you add in the saga behind her, the ownership of her songs, and imagine having your life's work sold to somebody who has done those things to you, is that kind of person. And then her relationships, and I know Ben doesn't care about any of this.
No, but this justification.
He's willing to let me ramble about it.
Yeah, because
he cares about me. What I love about their relationship is the fact that, unlike what we've seen in the public of her relationships previously, where she was always behind
if
the
I
man.
Mute her, and can you still hear her? Or does she get muted entirely? Or can you hear her through my microphone?
They would, sneak out to the car before her, and it almost seemed as though they were ashamed to be seen with her. And it's this
Give me the loot. If you could tell me, can you still hear her?
Fragile male ego of you cannot possibly be more successful, more famous, more wealthy, more anything than the man. And watching how Travis interacts with her and how he is unashamedly in love with her is
so mute me on yours.
Refreshing to see.
Okay, now keep talking. Let's see. Does that work better?
It is so refreshing to see, and so I love seeing that dynamic, that unabashed joy with each other's presence. I love seeing that. But even before that, when I discovered the New Heights podcast, and it is so refreshing. I do not watch football. I don't care about football. I'm not a sports person. But watching the Kelce brothers and the dynamic that they have with each other, and the positive masculinity that they show, the fact that they are unashamed to cry in front of each other, to be emotional, to wholeheartedly support each other. So I'm not a Travis Kelce fan, Taylor Swift fan, Jason Kelce fan per se, but I love all
Their
of them.
dynamic.
So sometimes I will just ramble at Ben about, like, okay, Ben, I know you don't care, but I'm going to ramble about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce for an hour. But Travis mentioned on the podcast when he went to one of Taylor Swift's concerts and he had made friendship bracelets for her and wanted to give her one of them, and he put his phone number in the bracelet. Friendship bracelets is a whole Taylor Swift concert thing.
I know. Remember, I had a student teacher who was super into them. I had a Swiftie as a student teacher.
But then on the podcast, he's talking about she doesn't meet with people before or after her show because she goes out and performs like 40 songs.
She'd be mobbed too.
And so he was so disappointed. Not like that, but like backstage.
Right.
And so he went on the podcast, he was talking about how disappointed. And that appearance on the podcast kind of went viral and made it back to her camp. And made it back to the people within her camp that were like, hey, this footballer really wanted to meet you.
I'm going to flip
His
my
video
camera
went
around so you
viral.
can see Placa Catalunya here.
His video went viral, and then that was then, okay, well, let's meet. So without that podcast...
So I don't know if you can see
Taylor
across
Swift
the street.
and Travis Kelce
This is
may not
Placa
be
Catalunya.
engaged.
There's some construction here because this is Barcelona, which means there's construction all the time. When we first moved here, I was like, I wonder if they're doing all this construction in the winter so that it'll be, it'll look good for tourist season. Turns out, no, the construction is ever present because it's an old city and it requires a lot of maintenance. And so it's going on all the time. But when you see Placa Catalunya, which was totally covered in construction when we first came, you will understand why that construction is very worthwhile and we are grateful for it because it's beautiful. So we're going to walk you over to Placa Catalunya and then you can see this beautiful place that we get to live.
Well, and while we're walking over there, as you can see, there's a lot of construction. But hey, okay, let's be honest. It's really nice to see tax dollars going to construction that is actually being done.
Yeah.
Like they're out here.
This is what you spend your money on when you're not trying to have a military that's larger than your 15 greatest allies.
Don't get me started on socialized medicine. I already have couple of viral videos for that. So
Just us going, oh my gosh, socialized medicine is amazing. We're big fans. Please, Spain, do not switch to a system like the American system. It's terrible. So this is Placa Catalunya. This is statue that you're seeing across the street is a symbol of Catalonian independence. I'm not fully aware of its meaning. I've just read a little bit about it, but it is these smashed stairs that have been turned on their head, this idea of a power inversion. And then there's all these beautiful sculptures throughout this park.
Well, and I want to talk about one thing though while we're walking over here and seeing, this area, this public area. This is not something that you would see within the U.S. It's kind of too.
Well, there are some,
No.
like Philly, DC.
Sparingly.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like the actual statues, but places in public for people to simply exist.
Yeah.
To simply sit and rest. One thing I've noticed about Barcelona is there are park benches everywhere.
Yeah. They're not designed to, make the houseless people uncomfortable.
Well, and even the statues, all of the statues have bases that are essentially giant benches around them.
This is a neat
US,
statue
we have
too.
This notion that we are going to penalize anybody who is existing in a space without spending money, and so we discourage public spaces that have.
I like this one a lot. I'm showing it off here a little bit. So here is this statue. Let's see, floating on this plinth on the water, so it looks like she's kind of floating. I dig that one. Pretty cool.
That is not something that you experience outside of,
Or at least not enough.
the lone, singular park in a big city. It's not. This is something. This park here. This is not an unusual thing. We are surrounded by
A million little parks. There are little parks everywhere.
There are 8 large parks within 15 minutes of us, and probably 50 small parks
Yeah.
within that same 15
Playground
minutes.
equipment for little kids, and we went
Water
past one today that had a ping
fountains.
pong table. Just sitting out a ping pong table in the United States, people would be like, you can't put a ping pong table out there, it'll get stolen.
Or homeless people might sleep on it.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that.
But here we have, I love this square with the pigeons.
Lots of pigeons.
Somebody out here like handing out pigeon food, and so particularly like little kids with a palm full of seed trying to get the pigeon. Like, look at this little girl over there. She's surrounded by pigeons.
So
It's
happy.
absolutely adorable. Not to be mistaken, this is infinitely preferable to my experience with the ducks at the park in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were ducks, and I very much had like
That was hilarious.
Was it Sleeping? Is it Sleeping Beauty? Who
Yeah,
sings
you
to
thought it
the-
was going to be a Sleeping Beauty moment.
a Sleeping Beauty moment where she Snow White.
That's right.
A Snow White moment where she sings to the. I thought I was gonna have one of those moments, and so I'd have this like vision of walking through a field of ducks. They weren't ducks; they were geese, and I don't know if you know this, but geese are very aggressive. I did not enjoy that experience. It was not how it went in my head.
It was pretty funny, was what it was. We've got these beautiful fountains here on the far side of the placa. You can see those from a distance. We'll walk over to get closer views of those.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna walk right through
The pigeons.
Do you know what I learned yesterday? I learned a fun fact. The dodo bird is actually classified as a pigeon.
Related to pigeons.
Yeah. Not related to, like it's classified. It's a pigeon.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a pigeon.
It was a pigeon.
But
I
dodo
totally wiped
birds,
them out.
past tense.
Yeah, but it was a pigeon.
That is
They
wild.
completely like changed and discovered more because hey, guess what? Scientists don't like lie to you when they tell you something. They just discover more information and then change the
And say we were wrong
available.
and change their minds, and that's
What
okay.
you can do, you can learn
You can
more
do that.
information and then change your mind. And that's a normal thing and a healthy thing to do.
We're big fans of the changing our minds.
Yeah, scientists have discovered more about pigeons
If you're liking what you're seeing, give us some hearts. Hearts are free.
and how they look, and apparently they look vastly different than we expected. We thought they did.
Isn't this a beautiful fountain here? Big fan.
This is where we live.
We get to live here. This is just, you're just walking along and you're like, oh yeah. I say all the time, way too often, I'm sure Crystal finds it very annoying. We get to live here. This is our experience.
You're bleeding.
Your ear, and now seeing it on camera too, so that people can see it is not bleeding. You
Okay,
have
that's
witnesses. No bleeding.
That might just be sweat. Because it is.
And these buildings around the park. Oh, and then I should
It
show
is
you
humid
Corte
here.
Inglés. So this is a
It's
department
warm.
store. Crystal still calls it the mall. We often refer to it as the mall. It is not a mall. It is one single department store, like a, Sears or something. It's huge mall,
Yeah.
and the windows. If you look at the top of the building there,
like
that reflective window surface,
15
you get
minutes
this
away from our
incredible
house.
view. The food is terrible
Oh yeah, the food
and
is
way
terrible.
overpriced, but you get a great view. So it's kind of a every once in a while thing. We'll go up and have a lunch at the Corte Inglés. I mean, it's very much a cafeteria.
Yeah, it's cafeteria. And then over here we
But
have.
look at this, these bank buildings around here, just these beautiful buildings. The Occident, I think, is a hotel.
This is my favorite store. One of my favorite stores. It's like the Walmart of
Right.
Barcelona.
So now you're seeing the park from the other side here with all the pigeons and all the adorable children playing with the pigeons.
I love all the pigeons.
And then if we were to go down that way that I'm pointing right now on mine, that's La Rambla. That's where we came from. And we live down that street.
It's beautiful.
This is where we get to live. Because folks, you can choose where you live. To some extent.
So, and one of the really great things, I'm gonna jump in because I got a comment on my live. We did say we were gonna talk a little bit about what it's like to live in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And so one of the comments that I just got on the because we are also doing this on TikTok Live, somebody asked how we travel around.
Right.
And so Ben and I sold our cars when we moved because I had my dream car. I was so sad to get rid of my car. which is also like one of my favorite jokes, but I won't tell that joke right
You
now.
can tell that joke.
Let me answer the question
Okay,
first,
first.
and then I'll tell my favorite joke. It wasn't worth the cost of shipping our cars over, so we sold our cars. We've chosen not to get cars over here because then you have to pay for parking. You also have to learn how to drive, and I come from a small town. I do not want to have to learn how to drive in a big city.
I will be the one who drives when we rent the car.
Ben will be the one who drives. It's a little terrifying. I do want a moped, but
Which I think is nuts. I want a body around me when I bump
one of the things I absolutely love about the city is the public transportation, and that goes right back to living in a country that actually uses their tax dollars for their intended purposes. There are something like, and I'm going to have the numbers not exact, and I'm going to apologize in advance, but there are only like
I'll show you the statue behind us too.
major subway systems within the U.S., and those are only in very specific cities.
She's holding this statue.
It's
a statue holding a statue.
The small town that we grew up in has, a bus system within the Salem metro area, but it is inconsistent. It's often dirty. I've never felt great taking it. And
In our very small town, to their credit, they put in a bus line just in our small town that was free. It was very progressive. Independence and Monmouth, Oregon. So shout out to Independence and Monmouth. That was really cool that they did that. Put a trolley in, essentially a bus that ran, all the time and was just available for free for local residents. That was very cool. But yeah, that's unusual. Most places have to have a car to survive in the United States, which is a shame. Oh my gosh.
It's clean. It's reliable. I paid
saw a cute baby. I got
$22 a
distracted.
month for unlimited metro and bus pass, which is great. Which will get you anywhere. Not only will it get you anywhere within Spain, you can jump on the metro here and be in Paris or
You have to pay for a train ticket for that.
Italy.
Right? That's not with your Metro pass. You
I
can't
don't
go to
know,
Paris.
but
I
you
don't think
can
so. You
jump
need a Euro
on.
rail pass.
You can still jump on.
You take the Metro to the train station
You
and
can
then
jump
you get
on
it.
public transportation
Yeah.
and get essentially
Oh,
all
yeah.
around Europe, whereas you have to get on a Greyhound bus to get from California to New York.
Right.
And then it's going to cost you several $100s.
Right.
We can
Oh, yeah.
go from here to,
London for $60 by plane
yeah.
too. So and,
Yeah.
and because you've got the public alternative, and this is a great example of why people fought so hard against the public option during the debate about Obamacare. When you have a public option, it lowers prices for everything, because then the private sector has to actually compete with the public sector, and they will yell and scream. This is this huge imposition on them, and this is so hard. To which I have zero sympathy. If they cannot provide better services for less than the public, then the CEO doesn't need to make extra money. Like, that's fine. But when I say that, people go, it's socialism. No, it's actually, that is democratic socialism at its best. Compete with the public sector to provide better services. And if you can't, sorry, there are no better services than the ones offered to everyone. How wonderful is that? Oh, what a shame. There's no CEOs and everybody gets the best possible services.
Yep.
But if somebody figures out a better way to do it for a little more money, and people are willing to spend money, to buy a plane ticket for 60 euros instead of taking a train ticket for 120 and, get there a little faster, great, they've got that alternative. But I'm not kidding, 60 euros. You can't find a plane ticket in the United States for $60 that's going to get you to, across the country, let alone to the next country nearby. It is, the transportation options are pretty amazing.
It's very nice. It is nice to know that, you can jump on and go anywhere. And I have a couple of TikTok videos talking about healthcare, because I've been going through some stuff with my finger. And every single time somebody says, it's not free, it's paid with your tax dollars, or you have private health insurance, and you're not on the socialized, the taxpayer funded health. I want to scream, when you build a system designed around serving the public, when you build a system, whether it is healthcare, whether it is schools, whether it is public transportation, whether it is public spaces, parks, and you will see bathrooms out, not porta potties, but actually like constructed metal boxes, bathrooms that sanitize themselves all the time, all throughout the city. When you build a system that at its base is designed to serve the people. Everything else has to build a system around that premise. Cabs are cheaper here than they would be in New York because they have to compete with city and province buses. Private healthcare is cheaper here because it has to compete with a socialized healthcare system. When you build a system like that, museums have to have a lower cost because they have to compete with publicly available museums, with city-funded museums. When you build a system around taxpayer-funded services that are created and designed to serve the people, everything else has to flow in that same manner, which the United States has not done.
Well, and we have in some ways. So in the United States, people don't appreciate the fact that public education makes private education better, right?
Yep.
Because it has got to compete. If you tried to open a private school and it was dramatically inferior to the local public school, you'd still get some people because they would go there for some other reason. Dogma. They'd go there because it teaches their religion or it refuses to teach history accurately or whatever. But if it was, objectively awful, it would fail as a business, right? And so having a public option makes the private sector better.
Yep.
And we've seen this happen, and you can also break that system. And we've seen that happen as well in the United States, where, for example, in Louisiana post-Katrina, they decided we're going to go to vouchers for everything.
Yeah.
And they basically broke the public schools. Well, in the long run, you've now taken the public option out as an option, and those private schools could just get worse and worse and worse, and there'd be no recourse, right? There's nowhere else for people to go. And so people here in Spain have talked about, apparently there are people on the kind of far right who are saying, let's go to a private healthcare model. Let's go to a fee-for-service model like the United States. And we are saying, do not do that. Because we know once you do, even if the private sector temporarily is cheaper and better, that's a loss leader, right? Yeah. That's, hey, we'll cut the costs just to get in on the market. But once we control the market, we'll be able to jack up the prices and there'll be no other option for you. This happens a lot with in the public school sphere where I used to work. School districts would negotiate. Sorry, siren going by. Those are actually unusual here. They try not to use their sirens unless they have to. Private school districts will do things like they'll farm out their buses or all their janitorial services to some private company. Yeah. And what will happen is the company will come in and say, hey, we will offer this to you, school district, for less than you are currently paying. And the district goes, great, we've now got a 3-year contract and we need to solve a budget hole and this will save us money for the next 3 years. Well, yeah, but once you sell your buses and you get rid of your bus drivers, then 3 years go by and the company jacks up the rates, and what are you going to do? You're stuck. And now that you privatization in the long run not only costs more, it must cost more, right? Because you've got the same services that you need to offer plus profit. Well, the very fact that you have to have a profit section means that it's going to be a higher expense. Yeah. So don't do that, Spain.
What is that? What is that restaurant chain that just went out of?
It's screwing up the puzzle. It makes you do this puzzle to, and when I take my finger off, it does it incorrectly. There we go. I proved that I'm a human being. Thank you.
What is that? What is that restaurant chain in the U.S. that recently went bankrupt? And it turns out that private equity firms bought all of the.
Somebody's screaming about it because they bought it so they could have the real estate underneath.
They bought private equity firms bought all the real estate and then jacked up the prices. And they
it was Long John Silver's.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Long John, and they blamed the shrimp. They said it's because they're doing all-you-can-eat shrimp. No, it wasn't the all-you-can-eat shrimp. They wanted the land underneath the restaurants, and they once you sell to somebody who is not interested in your business succeeding, then they went, okay, here's this other way to bilk some money out of this. Let's destroy this franchise. Now that's not the end of the world. You don't have Long John Silver's, but if Long John Silver's was healthcare,
it was something else. It was something much more
or education. You would lose that for your entire society. So don't turn over your healthcare system to private equity or your education system, even private schools. It's fine for there to be a small sliver of the sector that's private. gives people options. It actually makes the public sector better, right? They've got to compete. But that should be a small section of the market.
Well,
if you get it, let it take over, it'll break the system.
And you should have the security net of having socialized healthcare and housing and childcare,
the kind of Maslow necessities,
and schools.
Safety.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to flourish unless your basic needs are met, and the basic needs need to be guaranteed by everyone. In fact, I was overhearing this couple at a table next to us while we were at brunch today, and one of them was saying, oh, well, I wish we could just pay taxes kind of in an a la carte menu and only pay for the services we need. And I wanted to lean over to the person and say, one of the things you purchase with your taxes, for example, when you pay for public schools, is not that your child goes to school, it's that you get to live in a place where people are educated.
Yeah.
And you can't separate yourself from that. Do you want to live in a place where people around you are educated? Then you need to pay for public schools. And so I just wanted to scream at this person, like, you're not recognizing that everyone benefits when everyone benefits, right?
And I don't only want my child to not go hungry and to have a roof over their head.
Right.
I want everybody else's child to not go hungry.
And it is, I mean, if you want to look at it in a selfish way, I want to live in a place where there aren't starving children, right? It is
or stupid people.
Yeah, or uneducated people. It's to your benefit, right? And so that this idea of, socialism is only for people who are empathetic. No, you can be very, very selfish and still recognize socialism is for you.
Yes.
You get to live in a better place.
Yes. Yeah, which is part of why, doing this podcast and putting out the Antifa Lit Journal and doing these interviews that we've been doing. You were on NPR a couple of days ago. We've got another interview.
Not yet. I mean, that interview will be aired. Yes, I was interviewed for NPR.
I hope that wasn't a spoiler there.
Yeah, I think we're allowed to say that.
And doing these TikTok lives and filming TikToks as we're here, part of, we acknowledge that not everybody in the U.S. that wants to leave because of Trump is actually able to leave.
Right.
We've been able to do it. And, I see it kind of.
It has not been easy. Please don't think we, fucked off to paradise. This has been really hard. Yeah. But we did it so we could speak out.
Yeah. Nothing tests a marriage quite like moving your entire life.
How many times did we move in 6 months?
Times.
6 times in 3 months?
In like 3 or 4 months.
If any of you have ever been through a move, you know it's incredibly stressful. Imagine moving everything you own, and the amount you own keeps diminishing.
Yeah.
As you move to these, we moved 6 times in 3 months. It was very stressful.
But part of, I kind of see it part of giving back is doing these videos and these interviews and the podcast and the TikTok and all of that to one. For the people of Spain that are currently fighting against the right wing that wants to adopt more American models. Being a voice of somebody who has said, I can say I have lived under that model.
Yes, which is ironic. The party that wants to do that is called Voice, which means voice.
Yeah.
We are the voices against voice. Yeah. We are the group of people saying, don't do that.
Yeah, somebody who's lived under those models and seen the harm that it does. Doing that, but also Spain has been so welcoming for us. It feels like the very least that we can do is come on and talk about all the wonderful things that Spain has to offer.
Well, and also immigration is a hot button issue worldwide.
Yeah.
Because it is an opportunity for fascists to say these people who have inconvenienced you are also the source of all your problems, and if we could just get rid of them, I don't know, push them in jail, kill them, whatever, then we will.
Loud because we're walking through a square that often has performers performing, buskers singing live. There's a dance troupe over here.
I'm going to show the dance troupe that's preparing. There's often YouTube dance troupes behaving. So anyway, the fascists everywhere use anti-immigrant sentiment. And part of the reason they do it, and this is important for us to acknowledge, is we as immigrants are inconvenient. Like, as we're learning a city, we don't know the way around. As we are interacting with the bureaucracy, we have not yet mastered the language, right? And so we are difficult. And what these fascists are able to do is say, hey, that little minor inconvenience, that irritation you felt, I'm going to capitalize on that, dial that up. and say they are the source of all your problems. And they're responsible for everything going wrong in your life. And we can be people who are saying to our fellow Americans, especially because of our skin color, hey, guess what? Immigrants aren't evil. And if you were allowing fascists to kind of dictate and mix this idea of immigration with your latent racism and with your, with whatever religious bias, you hate people who have a different religion or you hate people who have a different, language or whatever. Well, it's very hard for an American to look at me and go, I hate immigrants because they are cishet white guys who were, raised Christian and Protestant in the Midwest. And so we can point out, hey, and so Chrys was really smart about this and said, we need to start talking about ourselves as immigrants.
Yes.
To let folks know immigrants don't, come in one color.
Yeah.
They don't have one religious background. They don't have one language that they come from. Immigrants can be people just like you. So if you hate immigrants, you hate cishet white guys who are Protestant from the Midwest, is that really who you hate? Or are you being deceived?
The right wing in America has stigmatized the label immigrant.
Right. Because they've tried to conflate it with all of people's America's long history of racism and sexism and every other kind of bias.
There are people that have done what they do that refer to themselves as expats, and I was originally thinking, okay, that's the correct term. There are people that use the term refugee, which, I mean, technically,
we are political refugees.
Published an Antifa lit journal with a president who says he's going to strip.
Gosh, cute dogs.
Okay, they're
very cute dogs. We get very distracted by the cute dogs. Crystal gets more distracted by the dogs. I get very distracted by cute babies. So you'll see us as we're walking, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, cute baby. And she's like, oh, cute dog.
But having published an Antifa lit journal with the president who said he's going to strip citizenship of people who are members of Antifa, we could call ourselves political refugees.
We are. I mean, I think that's a fact. We left because we were threatened because of our politics.
I prefer using the term immigrant as a way to destigmatize what the American right has added a stigma to.
Yep, I think that's good. Yeah,
we talk about how Spain and Barcelona in particular is so dog friendly.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It is not unusual. We don't bring our dogs with us often when we're rambling because Havoc, even though he's a 90-pound wolf mix, is utterly terrified of it. Literally.
He's a giant wolf who's afraid of humans.
Panic when he sees a car outside on the street.
I saw a cute baby. That was me distracted.
And they have we're not supposed to jump on and bark at everybody. So we'll take them to the park and that's about it.
I need to be near you so that I pick you up on my phone and vice versa.
Yeah. But part of what I love about Spain, it's one of the reasons why we chose Spain. One of the many reasons, but it is incredibly dog friendly. There are dog parks literally everywhere. It is not unusual to see people walking their dogs down the street off leash and their dogs just kind of wander after them. Yeah. It's totally normal. 60-70% of the restaurants in the city have outdoor seating that welcome dogs.
You bring your dogs.
You can take your dogs on the subway, on the bus. There are water fountains that have little pools for dogs.
Well,
it is
and
incredibly dog friendly, and I love it.
You could tell me if you disagree. I think there is a connection between being dog friendly and being a place that cares about mental health.
Yes.
Because this city, I mean, if you're on the public healthcare system, you can get mental health care.
Yeah.
Right? And that, I have heard there are longer wait times for folks who are on the public plan than we have on our private. But we have been able to access mental health services very easily here. It's just a place that takes stress seriously, right? And so a lot of the design of society here is around, oh my gosh, I gotta take a video. Sorry, I got distracted by this view because you should all see this.
Well, and
it's
a city that's...
This is the view here. Look down this street. And can you see the tower of that cathedral there?
I'm going to flip it around so you can see.
Yes, on hers as well. This little strip right here is so cool. Look at this medieval tower. So you're walking down this street, which kind of curves in a little bit of an S, and there are these cool shops. And then at the end of the street, there is a medieval bell tower on the Catedral. This is the church that is the Church of Maria de Sant Pi.
I mean, less than 10 minutes from our
Oh my gosh, yeah, it backs up to our place. It's so close to us. In fact, we're going to have to be a little cautious. We should stop filming before we actually go home so that we're not revealing exactly where we live. But you are getting to see, this is our neighborhood.
Well, and one of the nice things about, the unusual things having come from the U.S. is the sheer history and the age.
Yes.
In the U.S., we don't have that. Whatever history we did find before America, we destroyed.
We destroyed, and this history since we lie about.
Yeah.
Which is shocking.
Yeah.
Like the amount, in the United States, I knew we taught our history in a deceptive way. And yet, I have to acknowledge, I participated in it. Like, I still taught students, like, this is the greatest country in the world, but, well, that's a framing that set up all these lies. It's very hard to then tell the story where you tell it accurately and you say, except, in the Revolutionary War, that's one of the wars where we always go, see, we were so heroic, we fought off a king and we gained our freedom. No, it wasn't about freedom. This was about enslavers making sure they could still have slaves. Right? We were not the good guys, but we tell ourselves the story because it's hard to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm a member of a group that is not the good guys.
Yeah.
So we deceive ourselves over and over. And
okay, I have a fact, because you mentioned the Revolutionary War. I have a fun fact that I learned yesterday. Now, when I say learned yesterday, I mean on a TikTok video, so I can't speak to the accuracy of it, but I did do a little bit of Googling, and it does seem like the dates line up, because we have this, the Constitution is this sacred document because the founding fathers were these great men that crafted it.
Right.
Ben, don't get on that soapbox. But I learned yesterday.
Don't get me started.
Did you know that sandwiches did not exist when when they wrote the Constitution?
I believe it.
The United States is living on a document written by men who had never had a sandwich. Do you know what George Washington's favorite food was?
What?
George Washington's favorite food was peas. Why are we living in a society based around
with gun laws
opinion
based on a man who only liked
of
peas?
A man whose favorite food was peas? Why?
So this is that church I was talking about, the Church of the Santa Maria de Pi. Is this this is not, you always see pictures and it's Sagrada Familia, which is a beautiful, very, very modern building. But the Catedral de Barcelona is down the way from us. It is a medieval church. And then this is, I'm not sure if this is older than the Catedral de Barcelona, but this is a very, very old, it isn't, it's actually newer, I'm pretty sure, but very old. We'll show you the backside and you'll see how medievally the architecture is, and I just love this so much.
I love walking around all the old buildings in Spain and being almost completely convinced that there is a good chance that a lot of these buildings contain dungeons.
She likes the idea that there are
Not
dungeons.
basements.
I don't know why she's so into dungeons.
Dungeons.
I like to think of, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame running around on the rooftops.
Give me a dark, creepy dungeon.
Look at this. So cool. So this building, it says, there's a sign here that says, I'll translate, on the 6th of April of 1806, the news came in of the abrogación, I'm not sure how you translate that exactly, of the miracle of the servant of God, José Oriol, con cuyo motivo ilumínese. The miracle that this dude came to this church, and when he came through this door, he fell on the floor in a dream. O el sueño, el suelo. So he fell on the floor. The director, José Mestre, sin recibir el menor daño, a pesar de su extraordinaria cordura, como consta en el archivo de la comunidad, y para cuyo recordarse se colocó esta lápida. So
Something happened in 1806 here.
Dude walked in and fell down and had a vision. And that is recorded that this is the location where that vision took place, I guess.
Which is insane. Like, you can't find architecture like this.
I mean, you can on the East Coast, but
Yeah,
but 1806, yeah, that's old for the United States. Here, this is modern, relatively modern,
Right? I went to my first castle.
which is a very new castle. So I
And
gave
I was like,
I gave
I'm
her
at
a
a
hard
castle.
time. Yeah, I gave her a hard
And Ben's
time. I
like,
was poo-pooing
this
it because
isn't
it's from the
even-
1860s.
This isn't even a medieval
So yeah, it's not.
But
It
do you
is
know
a-
what that castle had?
a dungeon?
Dungeons.
Yeah, it's because the fascists used it as a dungeon during Franco.
Dude.
Napoleon did too. It goes back
Let's
further
go.
than that. But yeah,
Say
it's,
Napoleon did too. Like Napoleon wasn't.
yeah, like he was a super nice guy. But yeah, that's the Montjuic Castle. It has been used as a quite scary place over time. You know, during the reign of Franco, Montjuic Castle was like this looming presence in people's lives. They were like, it's looking down looking down at us, and there are people that we know being tortured and killed there.
So since we are walking down this very narrow alleyway, a lot of the streets in Barcelona are much larger. They can fit cars. As you can see, this is a very small street.
Are you going to talk about one of my favorite things about the city?
No, but some of the comments that I have heard, particularly as we kind of wander around, we see the streets a little bit wider, but not as wide.
Not car wide.
And so one of the comments that I've heard, particularly from foreigners that are visiting Spain, is like how dirty it is and how there's just like garbage everywhere. But what I really love is because these streets are too narrow to actually like have garbage dumpsters.
good timing here.
So perfectly good timing. These people push these little carts around and sweep up the garbage just all the time during the day. You can see somebody down there doing it.
I love these people. The sanitation
there's-
workers of this town
yeah.
make this town a livable place. They are
public
wonderful.
Garbage cans just every
Shout out to the sanitation workers of Barcelona.
But-
They take our trash. I'm going to steal your thunder. You go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, these streets are too narrow to fit dumpsters. You'll find dumpsters in the wider streets, but these streets are too narrow. So it is commonly accepted that at night after 8 p.m. you take your garbage out and you put it like outside. You know, you put it outside.
Oh my gosh,
outside
check
on the
out this.
street.
We should walk down this
Because-
one. Isn't this
because
cool?
Look at this. Like this is. There's no room in here. This is the kind of alley where somebody gets murdered.
But not here.
Oh, this is
In the
not
United
here,
States,
right?
maybe.
Look at this. This is so cool with the birds. But look at this. This is so cool with the birds. But on the street, and then every single night, the city garbage trucks come by.
Every night. What day is
Every
trash
night.
day?
7
Every
days
day.
a week.
All the time. People are
Yeah.
amazing, and they make this city a livable place
Well,
forever.
not only do they pick up all the garbage, but then every single night, water trucks come through
And wash
and
the
they
streets.
wash the streets
Every night.
every night. So if you happen to walk by like a full apartment complex, or I've seen ones where it looks like somebody has probably
So I
just
want to tell people
recently
about this
moved
church
out.
too.
It seems like it might be dirty, but it's an illusion. It is. The city is so clean.
Right. So this church that I'm pointing the camera at right now that you are seeing, I was telling you about the last one, the Catedral de Maria de San Pi. That one is from, I believe, the 1800s. It's not ancient. This location, this church right here, which has that bell tower above it, which we hear every time it goes off because it's right near our house. This church, before being this church, was a convent. And before being a convent was the second synagogue in the city. And when the Spanish, during one of their pogroms, kicked all of the Jews out of Spain, they took the land and made it into a convent. So this spot, if you count the time that it was occupied as the second synagogue, has been continuously occupied as a religious institution since the year 200. 200! And we get to live here.
We get to live here.
I love this so much. And it's beautiful. We've gotten to look in the doors before and see the stained glass inside. It's really beautiful. It's closed up right now. Yeah, it's fantastic. And then you've just got all this, like super modern, here's a chocolate shop and, cool little touristy shop. And this is right off where we live.
Yeah, it's like kind of a main touristy street.
We've actually lived here on this street, but on the other side of La Rambla, one of the first places we lived. So this is where we live.
It's beautiful. We absolutely love it. One thing that I really like about Spain.
This place is very distracting, Crystal. I just am now the one distracted by it, but she is the one who normally. You're walking by and you have ADHD, and you're like, oh, I have ADHD, blah, 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 and she's lost, right? She cannot focus when this is something.
Look at the pretty light.
Isn't that cool? So cool.
I want one of those so badly.
So when you were in Barcelona,
they have a unicorn.
come to.
Then they have a dragon.
They have a skull too. Look
They
at
have
the.
a dragon.
Did you see the skull one?
You see the dragon?
Yeah.
They have a dragon.
Yeah. And the tree of life there. They have some cool designs.
I thought I could convince him to get one if I pointed out the dragon.
We don't need. We don't have wind on our porch.
What?
We don't have any wind on our
No, but
porch.
we could put it
We
out
have
on
two
the
interior
balcony.
porches. They're still interior. Oh yeah, we do have an exterior balcony, a little Romeo and Juliet balcony too. We could put it out there.
We could just hang it on the ceiling of the bedroom because we have the bedroom fan, and then I could just lay in bed.
You would just
and
never
stare
do
at it.
anything. What did you do today? I looked at the
Stared at the
thing for
windside.
20 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, these lanterns that line the street. I don't know if you can see them over my shoulder now. I shouldn't flip the camera. They've got these, lights from the 1800s that line the streets that are just gorgeous. Yeah, this is just it's a beautiful place to get to live.
You could eat at a different restaurant
Oh
for
my gosh.
for 3 meals a day for at least a year without walking further than 15 minutes from our apartment.
Yeah.
I would guess 3 meals a day for a year within 15 minutes.
Think so?
I think so.
I have not done the math on that.
I
but
haven't done the math either.
Lots and
but
lots and lots of options, yes. Not that we do. We find a place
at
that we
least
like and we
1,000
keep
there's
going
at
back
least
to it.
There are at least 1,000 restaurants
There's
within a 15-minute walk.
There's a place
from our
called
apartment.
Walk to Go near us. There's another chain called Walk to Walk. And so you have to make sure you keep those separate in your mind because you don't want
Another
to,
tattoo and piercing place.
walk to walk to walk and then end up at Walk to Go. You got to go to Walk to Go rather than walk to walk to walk, right? So we go to Walk to Go and we go there.
I like the walk to go. Oh, like 3 times a week.
Yeah, we really
I've
like it.
recently
It's inexpensive.
discovered
The
that
food's
I like
good.
spicy food.
Yes.
And they have a tikka chicken
Tiki masala.
tikka curry
Tiki.
masala
Yeah.
that is spicy, and I love it. Which
Yeah,
I never used to
really
like.
spicy. Should we cut down to this square here?
I was actually going to go up to
Show everybody Placa de
Yeah.
Sant Jaume. So yes, this is Placa de Sant Jaume. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the name is in Catalan. It's not
Yeah.
in Spanish. If it was in Spanish, it'd be Placa de San Jaime. This is St. James
Yeah.
Square.
So I'm going to flip the camera around again. So
Show
they can
everybody
see.
the square.
And so this is a square with government buildings, and so we see tour groups here all the time. This is a common
yes,
tour
I'm going to
stop.
show it too.
And you'll see there are 2 separate government buildings
On each
this
side
is
of the
also,
square
if you
here.
watch the Democrats Abroad protests that we've posted about, this is where they take place. So we have a
Building for the Spanish government.
Spanish government.
And a building for, and if you see the flags on top, the Catalan government. Oh no, wait, that's Spanish. That's
Backwards.
Catalonia. And you can see the flags across the street. Somebody is clearly taking sides. They very much favor the Catalan. So
And
this
this
is
one has
kind of
weddings
the
all the
independence
time.
debate here.
Almost
Is
every single time we're here, we
some
see
people
a
would like
wedding
it to
come out.
secede and be its own country. And you will notice when you see those Catalan flags, they will often fly them with UN flag, or not UN, EU flags. And that's because they are reassuring their own partisans, don't worry, if we were to ever break free from Spain, we would still be part of the EU. Because if you try and, advertise something that is similar to Brexit, people would go, we saw what happened with Brexit. That's a terrible idea. Who would possibly be that stupid? Only the Brits, right? So sorry, British viewers. But, Brexit was a terrible idea. Even the people who supported it are now looking back and going, that was a terrible idea. So the Catalan independence folks are very quick to point out we would always still remain part of the EU. Don't worry. Yeah, they don't want to be independent of the EU, but they would like to have their own country. The reason for that is Catalonia, because of all the tourism and because of, for other reasons, Catalonia
don't
is
get us canceled.
yeah, Catalonia is much wealthier than the majority of Spain. So it's kind of that whole, blue states are the giving states and red states are the taker states. So sometimes they talk about breaking off in the same way Oregon, Washington, California talk about becoming, Cascadia and breaking off because they've got the wealth.
Yeah.
Now, the part that they never mention, this is where I'm going to get us canceled, is the reason Barcelona is wealthier is not just because of our beautiful beaches and our tourism. It's because when slavery was outlawed in the UK, some British businessmen went, okay, fine, we'll simply relocate our businesses. Where is a place where slavery is still allowed? And that place was Barcelona. And so as a consequence, this place is very wealthy. It's wealthy with money that came at the expense of people in the Caribbean, in the United States. This was where those deals for the transatlantic slave trade were done. And a lot of that wealth flowed in here and created the wealth of Barcelona. So when people say, oh, this city should be independent because it's so much wealthier, because of whom? Whose backs? Whose bodies were sold to make this place wealthier? So I know that will not make me popular with the Catalonia independence people to have that little factoid revealed, but the fact of the matter is, yes, it is wealthier, and yes, we could pay lower taxes than if we didn't have to pay Madrid, but we would be doing so on the backs of slavers, which to me would feel very American.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so this is, and this is also, I know I shouldn't be supporting them, and I vastly prefer to go to
Isn't
Dunkin'
this
Donuts.
cool? I'll tell you what this cool symbol is too.
But there is also a Starbucks in the square, and I'm only going to Starbucks because Dutch Brothers hasn't opened a location in Spain yet.
Yeah.
I wish they would.
I want to show this off. So, this sculpture, Frankie told us the history of this. So it looks like a bunch of wires that are connected. They look to me like paper clips. And they're all wired together, and they go all the way up, huge way up in the air. This is an artistic representation of a Catalonian tradition where human beings will stand in a circle, and then another row of human beings will climb onto their backs, and then climb onto their backs, and then climb onto their backs, all the way up, and then they will send a little child acrobat all the way up, and they would see if they could get a kid on top. And you can see, it's actually I saw a video. They just broke the record recently, and got some kid, and it's a kid who's incredibly brave. Like she looked like she was maybe 9, 8.
Oh my God.
Like wild, but
Bones
that's
are resilient
the
at that
least,
age, I
the lowest weight. Well, the person 3 below her was the first of the people who was on his own. Like he was totally, and he was one of the biggest, strongest men I've ever seen in my life, and then he's holding another adult on his shoulder, and then this child on top of that adult, and holding him up. It's wild. So it's kind of like cheer teams, like you see those those super incredibly talented athletes. Only this is just like people who do that, and they form these human towers, and so this is a artistic representation of that. The other reason I love this square is look at the buildings.
Yeah.
So we've got this incredibly modern building. You can't really see from this angle some of the cool stonework that's on it. It's actually much cooler than it looks like. There is some neat artwork that's on the face of it, but it looks very modern, right? You can tell that that's like an office building. And then you look down the sides here, and the buildings, the next ones down are probably from the, I would say, maybe early 1900s. And then this one there that's in the middle of your screen is full-on medieval. Like that thing's probably been here since the 1500s.
Yeah.
Right? And then we're back one square. We have all these, and even building to building, we've got decades in between.
Yeah.
And if you look carefully at little touches in the ways the decks are designed, they're all different. Everything is from these vastly different eras, but all right next to each other, right? And I can just wander around here and bore Crystal to tears, talking about how flummoxed I am by the cool mixtures of architecture. I just think they're so cool. And she's just like, yeah, whatever.
Dungeons.
Yeah, she now she's got this dungeon idea that she's fixated on. She'll be happier when I'm like, that building's really old. She's like, more likely to have a dungeon.
Yep. And then you can see there's, just so many outdoor. There are 4 different restaurants.
Yeah, we should go show the musicians.
Right
This will be loud, but we've got some cool an outdoor band playing right here.
It's not unusual to see musicians performing, but I am running very low on my battery, so we are going to have to wrap this episode
And I need to
up.
see if they have Mountain Dew at the store. We found that has Mountain Dew anyway. So.
I have just gotten the
You're about to lose it.
notification that my phone is at 15%. I might have to get a new phone because I've been having battery issues, and I don't know. Ben and I have the exact same phone, and so I don't know if it's a conversion here.
If I'm just lucky.
Or I don't know what's. No, actually, I don't know if we still have the same phone. Because
Yeah, we do.
Because I had to get a new phone.
No.
I think we do. Yeah. But yeah, I'm having.
We don't want to reveal the location of our current house anyway, although we used to live just down this street. So we know this neighborhood because we used to live right down there.
And what you're seeing on Ben's screen is a historic. It's actually like a government building.
Yes.
And I discovered that when.
Generalitat de Catalunya, Departamento de Presidencia. So this is one of the president's offices for the local. This is the president of the regional government here.
I discovered that when Spain.
You can see these windows. That's where the dungeon is.
Yep, probably. I discovered that when we had our Spain and Portugal and part of a bunch of places all over Europe lost power.
Yeah.
Because there was a guy in an official-looking uniform that was standing there, and I went out and asked him. And he was like, "We did not get word about this. This was a surprise."
Yeah. Even the bureaucrats here, incredibly kind.
Yeah.
Because they see themselves as public servants,
Yes.
right? I mean, bureaucrats in the United States tend to as well. But,
Well.
and just like bureaucrats in the United States, sometimes you get a nice one and sometimes you get somebody who's having a rough day. So, I am sympathetic. But we have had a very positive experience, by and large, with the bureaucrats here.
Yeah, I had to get my social security card for my new job, and I sent in my application. A day later, I got notification that they needed one more picture. I sent that in, and I got my social security card, my social security number the next day. It took 2 days.
Yeah, I should see if mine came in. I just applied for mine as well.
Check your email.
So this supermarket right here, I won't say it's my favorite supermarket because I'll know in a few minutes. So they sometimes have Mountain Dew. My battery's at 15%. It's not just your battery. And so if they have Mountain Dew today, this is my new favorite market. If they don't, then they're dead to me. Until next week.
All right, so I think we're going to have to sign off because we're all losing battery power. And I'm standing in front of Ben's camera.
Yeah. But yes, it was fun to do the show. It's good to see you all, and we will see you again next week.
Yes, thank you for joining us for our rambling adventure.
Yeah, we need a sign. We don't have a fancy sign off.
We don't have a sign off yet.
We should have a fancy sign off so we know when to end.
We should have a sign off. We don't have one yet. It can't just be my battery dying.
I mean, it could be. That could be it. Well, my battery's dying. See you all next week. Bye bye, everybody.
If I take